Hi, my name is Dana Beck. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube video. And to get all of my content and future videos, make sure you click on that subscribe button again to get all my content. And if you enjoy this video, go ahead, give me a thumbs up. Click that like button. I would really appreciate it. And go ahead and also leave a comment, because I respond to all comments that I receive within 24 hours. So again, thank you so very, very much for watching my YouTube video, and I hope you enjoy it. For any business that wants to promote online, there are a lot of components that go into a business being successful on the internet, online. And in this video, in this presentation, there are two core elements that I want to look at for any business to be successful online. And those two elements are branding and core tools. Branding and core tools. Now, again, both of these work together for a business to be successful online. I'd like to start with branding. Now, what branding is really is a graphical representation or graphical image of the business that is online. And now here you see, now you don't see any words, you don't see any description, nothing like that. I'm going to move this over a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. Anyway, so it's a graphical representation of a company. And here, just a small sample, like Pepsi or Toyota, Starbucks, Nike, McDonald's, Domino's Pizza, and so forth. And all of these, we've seen these hundreds and hundreds of times, and we know just by looking at this image, this graphic, we recognize the brand of that company right away. And it's very, very clear. You know, a great one like over here, like this one here, this is Microsoft. And and it's just four simple squares, but we recognize right away that brand of Microsoft, that graphical image. So branding starts, this is one aspect of branding, starts with coming up with a graphical representation of your company, your service. And then you also have logos. Now, logos are a little bit different. Now, in most cases, not in all of them, in most cases, the name of the company is attached to the logo. The exception to that is like Nike. Everybody recognizes that little orange emblem there. They recognize that right away as being Nike. And, the golden arches, as it's been called, the yellow M, everyone knows that is, again, McDonald's. And then you got Domino's Pizza. So not all logos will have their name in it. Generally, they do, but very, very popular logos, again, like Chick-fil-A. It doesn't say Chick-fil-A, but you know right away that little chicken thing, I guess you could call it, with the red background, that is Chick-fil-A. And, we recognize these logos. Now, how about slogans? Now, you can combine logos and a slogan together. Here are some great examples of that. Now, De Beers, and they also have a slogan, "A diamond is forever." Now, McDonald's, the golden arches, well, it doesn't say McDonald's, but it does have their slogan, and you recognize the logos. I mentioned a moment ago, you recognize the logo, and then they have, again, their slogan underneath it. KFC is another one. Finger licking good. And so that is their slogan attached to their logo. Now here, Nike, they have their logo, but they also have a slogan attached to that logo as well. Just do it. And again, there are hundreds more like this. So again, in branding, you have a logo, and then you also have, in many cases, you have a slogan attached to that logo. Now, in the case of physical stores, physical, businesses, there is a certain style, there's a certain feel, there's a certain ambiance you get when you walk into their physical store. Like, for instance, Starbucks. When you walk into Starbucks, not only do you smell the coffee and the pastries and whatnot, but there's a certain style to it. There's a certain ambiance. There's a certain design which makes Starbucks very, very appealing and unique. There isn't any other coffee shop that's like a Starbucks. They are unique in that respect. Or how about Sports Clips? Now, Sports Clips is a hair cuttery. And they, again, there's a certain image, there's a certain ambiance, there's a certain feeling you get when you walk into a Sports Clips. How about the Apple Store? The Apple Store is the same way. When you walk into an Apple Store, there's definitely a presence there. There's definitely, again, an ambiance, a feeling you get when you walk into an Apple Store. And so these are styles of physical stores and whatnot. Now, how about if you're online and you're promoting your business online? How do you, replicate this even though they're not walking into a physical store? Well, there's a style that you can also maintain. For instance, Amazon. Now, Amazon, when you go to the Amazon website, there is definitely, the graphics they use, the images, and, how you navigate through it, and everything that goes into it is not by chance. They have thought it through and they planned it out. So you get a certain feeling when you go to an Amazon website. Or how about Wayfair? Wayfair is another one. Wayfair, when you go to a Wayfair website, you get a certain feeling. You get a certain, again, appealing environment. And Amazon and Wayfair, their design is completely different, but they're attracting, in some cases, yes, they're attracting the same type of customers, but in a lot of respects, Wayfair will attract a different clientele than Amazon will. Wayfair is a little more specific than Amazon. Amazon covers everything under the sun. Wayfair is a little more targeted, but nevertheless, each website, has a certain design about it to attract a certain clientele. So again, this is part of what goes into branding. This is part of how you build your brand for your business online. Again, logos, and then your online style, and also, again, those phrases that are attached to your logo. That is another key element. So that's a little bit on branding. Now, how about tools? What core tools, if you're going to have a business online, what core tools should you be using to be successful online? And there are hundreds and hundreds of tools. I'm just looking at some of the core tools, some of the basic tools that you need to promote your business online, and which are, dare I say, almost mandatory to have if you want to be successful online. And everyone's heard about funnels, okay? What the heck is a funnel? Well, again, a funnel, as the definition here describes, a funnel is the engagement process that entrepreneurs utilize to lead prospects through when pursuing a certain outcome. It is a series of levels to direct or guide that prospect through their sales funnel, through the sales process. And I want to show you kind of an overview of how a funnel works. So a typical funnel. Now this example has 6 steps, but you can have, I've seen some funnels which have only as few as like 3 or 4, and some which maybe have as many as 5, 10, 15, 20. Again, the complexity of the funnel depending upon what is the outcome you want for that prospect. So again, this is a typical funnel. This is only 6 steps, but again, it could be more or less than this example. So what goes into the funnel? Well, first of all, to break this down a little bit, here's kind of how a typical funnel works. You have a lead magnet, a front end, which is also called a tripwire. Then you have your next level, your middle level, and your high end. So a bait or lead magnet is usually a free giveaway, a free item, maybe a free video, training video, or a free PDF, or some kind of download, some kind of content the prospect can consume for free. But in turn, in order to get that free item, they have to provide their name and email address. So now you get them on your list, which I'll get to in a moment. So, the bait, the lead magnet, if you please, it draws that prospect into your funnel. Okay, now that you have their name and email address, the next step usually in a funnel is a low-cost front end, or also called a tripwire. And so now, like in this case, you've got get it now for only $7, a low-cost offer or a low-cost product or service or something that they can consume for a very, very low cost. And again, this is the next step in a typical funnel. So after they see that, that item, that product, that service, whatever, that's a very low cost, usually anywhere between $5 to $10. Sometimes I've seen it, your first front end, as much as $20, but I would keep it definitely $20 or less. You want it at, a low cost. So what's the next level? So that after they consume that and they see value in that, then you get like a one-time offer, usually a slightly more expensive, more costly offer, but again, maintaining the value, something that either can build upon the front end tripwire that you offered or some other avenue. But a lot of times, again, it is a slightly higher, more expensive, but then more value than the previous one. And so then when they consume that, and again, you're leading through each step in your funnel. And then the next one is usually a slightly more expensive one. And generally speaking, like I said a moment ago, your bait, your lead magnet is normally a free item. Your front end is usually a low cost, $5, $10, $20 maximum. The next level is usually somewhere around $100, $150, maybe $200, somewhere in that ballpark. And then the middle item, the next one is usually slightly more expensive, maybe $400, $500. So you see, you build each one. And with each level, though, you're also providing a great deal of value, which I'll get to in a moment. Then, you can promote your high-end offer. And usually this is, a premium price. And it could be anywhere from $900 to $1,000 to as much. I've seen some as much as $4,000 or $5,000. Again, depending upon what you're promoting. And so, and as they go through every step, and you're providing value at every step, so, you can be very successful in leading that prospect through your program all the way up to your high-end offer. But one thing that's really, really crucial, really important, is that you want to make sure, let me move this so you can see that. There we go. You want to make sure at every single level you are providing value. You're providing, value at every single level. Your free item, it shouldn't be something you just threw together. It should have value, and it should be something that your prospect can utilize and that they see value in as well. And the same thing with, your front end offer, then your next level, then your middle, and your high end level. Each one of these, again, has to provide more value than what they're paying for. And that's a key element. Sometimes that can be a little tricky, but that is definitely something that you want to consider. Make sure that what you're providing, the value that you're providing, if at all possible, and you should be able to do this, is worth a lot more than what they're paying for it. So this is, again, now this is a funnel, and there are multiple companies that, that offer funnels, which I'll get to here shortly. But again, this is the typical sales funnel. And again, like I said earlier, it could be as many as 5, 10, 15, 20 different levels, depending upon, again, the complexity of the offer that you're making and what you want the final outcome to be. So again, that will determine how many levels it will be in your funnel. So the other next tool I like to talk about is an autoresponder. And I'm going to move this back over so I can adjust that. So autoresponder, and again, an autoresponder is like it says here on the screen, is a service which allows you to automatically send out emails to a group or to several different groups of people. Essentially, you write, one email to a specific group on your list, and then that email will be sent out to everybody on that list that meets a certain criteria. For instance, if you've got someone who just recently subscribed, hasn't purchased anything from you, you're going to write a different email to them than you would to somebody who has purchased products from you in the past, who is engaged with you. You're going to write a different email to them. So that's what this autoresponder does. It's an automated way to communicate with everybody on your list. And there are plenty. I mean, there's a plethora of autoresponders available. And here's just a few of them. But again, there's many, many, many more. Like SendGrid, GetResponse, MailChimp, Infusionsoft, Aweber, ActiveCampaign, ConvertKit. And again, this is only a small sample. And they vary in complexity, in price, in features, and so forth and so forth. And some have, greater open rates than others. Again, that varies. So, really do your homework. But this is kind of a sample of some of the autoresponders that are available. And again, like I said a moment ago, you type your email, then you send it out, and it ends up in their inbox. And that, in basic terms, is how an autoresponder works. You write your email, and when you send it out to your different groups in your list, they receive it in their inbox. And obviously, when you're looking at an autoresponder, you want to, as much as possible, you want to research it to find out what their open rate is, and what their success rate is. And because obviously you want your email not to end up in the spam folder. You want it to end up in their inbox. Obviously, that's, where you would like it to end up. So again, some autoresponders are really good with this, some not quite as good as others. Do your homework, do your research to find the autoresponder that will work best for you, both on what your desired outcome is, what their open rate is, and what their cost and features are. So that's a little bit on autoresponders. Then another tool I want to look at is a link tracking system. And as it says here on the screen, a link tracking system is an online marketing platform that allows you to track all of your organic and paid marketing efforts. And simply stated, it tracks, again, it tracks your emails, it tracks your performance that you're sending out. So let me show you this graphic here. So again, as you're sending out emails, you want to track what kind of a response are you getting from your programs, for your campaigns that you're currently running, whether it be cold traffic, whether it be people on your list already, subscribers that you already have, and again, various other factors. And one of the ones that I use, there's multiple ones out there and available, but one of the ones that I use is a company called ClickMagick. And not only is it cost effective, it's not very expensive, but it has a great reputation and has multiple tools. Now, there are other tracking software programs out there, but I use ClickMagick because of the value that I get with ClickMagick. And they have, like I said, multiple tools, and there's a lot of details, a lot of data that you can track with ClickMagick, which will help you to streamline maybe how you're writing your emails or what traffic sources you're using, and so forth and so forth. So that's a little bit on tracking software. And then another tool that I want to look at is Screen Capture Program. Now, a screen capture program, just as the name implies, it will allow you to record actions that are displayed on your computer. And this is very helpful, even necessary if you're going to develop how-to videos. Now, like for instance, right now I am using a screen capture program in order to do this presentation. And again, this is a core tool. This is something that you really should invest in because it will really help you to put together presentations especially if you're doing any kind of how-to videos. It is, I mean, dare I say, it's necessary. It's really important. Now, there are a few out there. Some are free. Some are freeware. Some are expensive or pay for it. ScreenPal is one that I use quite often, and it is very, very affordable. It's inexpensive, and it has a plethora of tools. Now, open broadcast software, OBS is, you know, as I refer to it as, OBS is freeware. It's 100% free. It's not as robust as ScreenPal, but it does a very, very good job of capturing your screen, you know, doing a screen capture software. It does a really, really good job. And again, it is 100% free, and it's shareware, if you please. And then there's Camtasia. Now, Camtasia has a plethora of tools associated with it. It's more of a suite of tools. And Camtasia is probably the Cadillac of screen capture software. It is a lot more expensive than ScreenPal, but again, with that cost, it comes with quite a plethora, quite a bunch of tools that you can utilize to promote your business online. So, you know, that's a little bit on screen capture. And then lastly, video and graphics editing software. Now, customizing your videos with graphics, pop-up, verbiage, and call to action CTAs will make your videos stand out. And again, editing software for your videos is really, really crucial, especially if you want to draw attention to certain slides, draw attention to certain points that you're making. Having a video and graphics editing software is really, really important. And there's a number of them out there. And, you know, you've got Canva, which I also use, which is fabulous for designing logos, designing Facebook splash pages. I mean, banners. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And Canva is a great tool, and it's not very expensive at all. Then you have some free tools like Inkscape, and again, OBS, and also GIMP. These are all free shareware. And GIMP does a fabulous job at, like, for instance, eliminating backgrounds, making them transparent and things like that, making 3D images. It's a great tool. And then, of course, OBS, you can use that to edit your videos. And then Inkscape is another graphic editing software. Then, of course, you have, again, Camtasia, as I mentioned before. Camtasia, again, is a suite of different products that you can utilize to to promote your product and services online. Adobe, everybody's familiar with Adobe. Camtasia and Adobe are probably the most expensive. And Camtasia, as I recall, I believe is a software that you buy, and it's a one-time only cost. And Adobe, though, is a subscription, as well as Canva. Canva is a subscription as well. It's usually an annual, yearly cost. And then ScreenPal, as I mentioned before, is relatively inexpensive, and you can edit your videos with ScreenPal. It does an excellent job of that. So in this presentation, what have we talked about? We've been on for almost 25 minutes. So thank you for hanging in there with me. So again, with branding, some of the key components of branding are your logos, your slogans, your styles, and your online styles that we talked about. And then the other thing is your core tools are funnels, autoresponders, a link tracking system, screen capture program, and video and graphics editing software. So these are just two components that you need to utilize in order to be successful online. And hopefully you got value out of this. And if you did, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up, woohoo, and go ahead and like my video and leave a comment if you would, because I very much enjoy reading your comments, and I respond to all of them. So thank you so very, very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.